Welcome to Howard's Opinion, the podcast where we dive into the latest and greatest in the world of sports. I'm your host, Howard, and I'm excited to share my thoughts and insights with you today. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you, so grab a seat, get comfortable, and let's get started. Today, we're talking about the NFL, specifically the thrilling matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. What a game it was! The Ravens put on an impressive display, with Lamar Jackson leading the charge, but in the end, it was Josh Allen and the Bills who emerged victorious. And let me tell you, it was no easy feat. As I was reading through the analysis of the game, one thing that caught my eye was a comment from FS1's Wake Up Barstool host, Greg Olson. He made a great point that while the Bills' win was certainly exciting, it's not sustainable to rely on Superman-like performances from Josh Allen every single week. I mean, the guy accounted for 424 of Buffalo's 497 total yards. That's just incredible. But as Olsen pointed out, it's hard to count on that kind of production consistently throughout the season. And when you look at the numbers, it's clear that the Ravens should have won this game. They rushed for over 235 yards and scored 40 points, which historically has been a recipe for success. In fact, prior to this game, teams that had achieved those stats were 2077W. So, what does this mean for the Bills moving forward? Well, they know they need to get their defense fixed, and fast. Giving up 20 points in each half is not going to cut it if they want to make a deep run in the playoffs. We'll be discussing more of the implications of this game and what it means for the NFL landscape as a whole. But for now, let's just say that it's going to be an interesting season, folks. The Bills may have won this battle, but the war is far from over. We'll be right back with more fascinating sports news on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to Howard's Opinion, folks. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into the world of sports and beyond. I'm your host, Howard, and today we're discussing some fascinating developments in the realm of soccer, or football, if you will. Now, let's get straight to it. Have you heard about the latest EA Sports FC 26 player ratings? Well, if not, allow me to enlighten you. It seems that Mohamed Salah has joined Kylian Mbappe at the top spot with a 91 overall rating. That's right, folks. These two soccer sensations are now tied for the highest rating in the game. But what's even more intriguing is who didn't make the cut. Cristiano Ronaldo, the legendary Portuguese player, has fallen outside of the top 50. Yes, you heard that right, not even in the top 50. And as for Lionel Messi, he barely scraped by with a rating of 86, a 2-point drop from last season. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does this mean for the world of soccer? Well, my friends, it's clear that the landscape is shifting. New players are emerging, and the old guard is slowly being phased out. It's a natural progression, perhaps, but still fascinating to watch. And speaking of Messi, have you heard about his latest conundrum? He's still undecided about playing in the 2026 FIFA World Cup for Argentina. Ah, the drama, the speculation. Will he or won't he? Only time will tell, folks. Meanwhile, we also have some exciting news from the world of soccer ratings. Lamine Yamal, Barcelona's teenage sensation, has broken into the top 10 for the first time in his young career. And let's not forget about Jude Bellingham, the 22-year-old phenom who's making waves in the sport. As we continue to follow these developments, one thing is clear: the world of soccer is always full of surprises. And that's what makes it so captivating, don't you think? Well, that's all for this segment, folks. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Howard's Opinion. Welcome back to the closing segment of Howard's Opinion. As we wrap up today's discussion, I'd like to shift gears and talk about something that might seem unrelated to our previous topics, but bear with me, folks, because this is where sports and fashion intersect in a fascinating way. You see, Mitchell & Ness, the renowned manufacturer of throwback jerseys, has just released their maxed-out collection, which reimagines iconic NFL, NBA, and NHL franchises in hockey jersey form. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does this have to do with anything? But hear me out. This collection is not just about slapping a new logo on an old design. It's about creative expression, nostalgia, and pushing the boundaries of what we consider traditional sports merchandise. As someone who's always been passionate about the intersection of sports and culture, I find this collection to be a breath of fresh air. The idea of taking beloved teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, Chicago Bears, or Houston Rockets and reimagining them in hockey jersey form is nothing short of genius. It's a nod to the past, while also embracing the future of sports fashion. Now, I'm not just talking about the aesthetics here. I'm talking about the cultural significance of this collection. In an era where everyone's wearing the same jerseys, Mitchell & Ness is giving fans the opportunity to stand out from the crowd, to express their individuality, and to showcase their team spirit in a unique way. And let's be real, folks. Who wouldn't want to wear a throwback, Hakeem Olajuwon Houston Rockets jersey, or a vintage Randy Moss Minnesota Vikings jersey? These are iconic designs that evoke memories of a bygone era, and now they're available in a whole new format. As we close out today's show, I want to leave you with a thought. Sports merchandise is not just about wearing your team's logo on your chest. It's about being part of a community, expressing your personality, and showcasing your passion. And if you can do that while looking stylish and unique, well, that's just the icing on the cake. That's all for today's Howard's Opinion. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, these are some of my humble thoughts. Keep it locked to Howard's Opinion for more discussion on sports, culture, and everything in between. And if you're feeling adventurous, go ahead and cop one of those maxed out jerseys. Your team spirit and sense of style will thank you.